Okay, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the GSFE sponsor workshop. Today we have Angelique MacArthur as our instructor, and today's workshop is titled The Social Game: Become a Confident Online Communicator and Grow Your Business. Now, Angelique, she is a lifestyle guide and empowerment facilitator serving millennial and Gen X female, as well as kids and youth. She's also the founder and the CEO of the Adulthood Edit and Next Level Generation Gen. The Adulthood Edit provides relatable, real talk through fun and value focused content and offers to support those who are in transition into or wanting to transform their adulthood journey. So I asked Angelique to help us, with some of us, like what her experience and what her success in and involved in social media. And then three things that we're going to learn today is that the language of the internet is like how to understand and use it to communicate authentically and effectively. There is a certain things that I guess we need to do, and then another one people mention about algorithm. What is algorithm really means? And what to focus instead of just focus on algorithm, because sometimes I learn from Angelique that is something you can't control. Let's focus something that we can control, that we know. And and also you will learn the foundation way of each major platform communication and how to use them to your advantage. Okay, and then another one is the key security features, because as you know, we have to be mindful about certain security in the social media platform. And then another one is that where to find a great advice on how to go deeper with your platform knowledge. So welcome, Angelique, and this is an interactive workshop. Okay, so especially with you, so if you have questions, Angelique, how do you want to do this? Just like putting a raised hand, or like if
Yeah,
somebody has a questions?
absolutely. So if you have a question, please raise your hand. It's just so I can see it. Whether you want to physically raise your hand or you want to use the button there for the reactions at the bottom of the screen. This is, like I said, interactive. So I would love to hear not only your questions, but also what your experience has been with social media so far. And we're going to go through some stuff together. I'm going to share my screen, going to show you the behind the scenes of some of the platforms and where to find some of the settings that I think are really important to know and how to manage. And this is going to help you with your communication online. So, yeah.
Okay, okay, go ahead. Okay, let's do it.
Great. Well, yeah, I'm really excited to be here. Thank you, Angeline, for this opportunity, and Robbie as well. I'm really here to just serve you, ladies. And like I said, feel free to let me know what comes up for you as we're talking, whether it's a question or even a general feeling. Whenever I speak with people about social media, the general consensus is a lot of people feel overwhelmed and they just don't know kind of how to go about it. So I completely understand that. And I would love to just hear your feedback as we're going along. So I'm going to share my screen. And let me just make sure. Okay. All right. Can you see my screen okay?
Black so far.
It's
Yeah.
black?
Oh, now it's
It's
okay. It's
loading.
I
Yeah,
got there now.
yeah.
Okay. I was like, phew. Technology always has a mind of its own. So. All right. So, yes, we're going to be talking. It's a kind of a social media 101 masterclass, and we're going to dive into it today. So, just a little bit about me. Angelina's already told you about what I do. A little bit about me that are some fun facts. I was born and raised in Toronto, and I'm still here, and I love it. I've lived in another country, but Toronto's always home. So it's a great spot. If you haven't been, please come visit us. Maybe in the summer rather than the winter. I love to I love to write. I love, meeting new people, having great times with people, traveling, of course, and ice cream. I could probably name all 31 Baskin Robbins flavors. That's how much I love ice cream. And field hockey is my sport forever. I play it every summer. I've been playing since I was 14, and I just love it. So those are just some fun things about me, a wife, a daughter, and a friend as well. And yes, running my own businesses to serve people. My premise of my businesses is to serve millennial and Gen Z women, kids, and youth to help them learn to connect to their life. And social media is one way we connect. So I'm excited to share that with you today. So I really liked this quote because learning is something we are constantly doing, of course, but it's not about the different words for the same things, but it's also another way you think about things. So that is really what social media is giving you the opportunity to do. It's giving you the opportunity to take what you know, how you connect with other people, just in a different way. Rather than face to face, it's digital. And so just like when you have face to face interactions and there are social cues, and there's just different ways that we, socially we accept when we connect face to face, the social media online is no different. It just has its own way of doing that. But they're really there not to confuse you or overwhelm you, but it's really to help you maximize what those platforms are make available for you. Okay? So first we're going to dive into the landscape of social media, and this is where we're going to talk about the 5 top platforms that everybody is on. Most people are on, I should say. And we're going to talk about what each platform really offers you in how to connect using that platform's specific way of connecting and communication. So I wanted to give you this disclaimer because what I find is that most people struggle with platforms and we compartmentalize them rather than, see them across the board. We kind of say Facebook does this, Instagram does that, but all throughout all of these platforms, these are things that can be very helpful for you to keep in mind. This is something that all platforms are going to ask you to do rather than say only these platforms do this. So when you're posting pictures, it's really important to know the proper sizing for each platform. So not all platforms use the same sizing, but they all utilize pictures or images at some point. And you really want to make sure you're maximizing that. A great example is your cover photo on your Facebook profile page. You have your personal profile picture, and then you have the longer cover photo. That sizing may be different than, say, a banner on LinkedIn. So it's really important to know, and I'm going to include that for you, the sizing that you should know for each platform. I'll include that in the cheat sheet booklet I'm going to send to you guys after. But it's just important to remember that because I find that a lot of people, it's a disservice to your business and to you if you're not utilizing the space properly. If the image is too big, I can't see what you're really trying to show, right? And so you want to make sure that you're utilizing that. All platforms are going to utilize photos and they're going to have their own sizing. Every platform has settings, and it's really important to know them. We bypass settings quite often, and we allow most platforms to use the default settings rather than customizing it for you and your business. Now, I'm going to show you behind the scenes, and we're going to go through that together later. I'm going to show you, in particular, Facebook. Can I just see, by show of hands, is everybody here on Facebook? Yeah? Okay, great. So that's one platform we're probably all on. It was probably the original platform, right? And I can just tell you while we're going to go over 5 key platforms, there are so many platforms out there that it can be overwhelming, but these 5 key ones I think are going to be most helpful for you in business. So don't ignore spam or negativity on social media. I'm going to show you an example of this and why it's so important to report these things. Every social platform, you're going to have people who may take somebody's identity and, they may try to impersonate somebody. That happened to my friend just this week. I got a message on a DM and it said it was basically it was her image and her name, but there was just one letter difference. And these are really important things to report, because every platform is wanting to manage this. Every platform is wanting to support you in making sure that your identity remains safe. But if they don't know because you disregard it, or maybe you only block it but you don't report it, they don't know, right? So it's on everybody to make sure that we report these things. And negativity, usually when you report it, they give you a list to say what it's about. So maybe on Instagram, for example, they might give you a list and they'll ask you questions like, is this profile impersonating you, someone else, or a celebrity? So you get to get pretty specific in order to say, here's why this is important for you to know and why you guys should look into it. So this is something that I find people battle the most on Facebook and Instagram. And that could be because Facebook owns Instagram, and so they share data, right? So it could be that's why it tends to be higher on those platforms. But the point is that you want to make sure that you're doing your part by reporting it. So ads are everywhere, okay? They're the name of the game. You most likely will have to, when you're building your business and you want to expand, ads is probably something you will want to look to in the future. But understand that you don't need ads in order to succeed in your business. There are other ways that you can use for free that the platforms are already providing you, and we're going to go into that. But just know that ads are something you may want to look to in the future. The algorithm is constantly changing, so please don't focus on it. So what the algorithm is it's a code specifically created for that platform, and that platform could be Facebook, Instagram. But what it does is it allows that platform to basically act in the way it's intended to. So Instagram is picture heavy. Most people know it because it gained popularity because it focused on the image rather than the text. Facebook was the other way around. Yes, you have a large image, but if you'll notice, Facebook, longer texts, longer posts are more prominent on Facebook than you might see in an Instagram post. So it's just really important to know that the algorithm, though, is constantly changing. Basically, when people say things like, I want to beat the algorithm, I almost find it laughable, because what you're basically saying is you want to beat these engineers who spend their entire life and all day focusing on just creating these algorithms. They are not dabbling in algorithms. They literally, this is all they do. So to try to say you're going to beat them is a waste of your time, and you can use that better by utilizing the platform and what it offers you rather than trying to alter the platform and what it does. So please don't spend time on the algorithm. It literally changes constantly, and what is going to help you build your business is consistency and value content. I'm going to show you the ins and outs of each platform to just kind of give you an idea of how to utilize the great content that you're creating and that consistency better. But the algorithm isn't going to be the thing that's going to matter. Algorithm is also similar to vanity metrics. Does anybody here know what vanity metrics means?
No.
Okay. So vanity metrics is basically a metric that we use to measure if our content is doing well, but it's not moving the needle for your business. Meaning it's a metric that is great to see, but it doesn't necessarily impact your business. A really important vanity metric could be likes. Everybody wants to say that their content is liked. You could have 300 likes, but 0 clients come from that. So that's a vanity metric. It's not necessarily going to determine if your business or your content is creating the turnover that you want in moving the needle to getting clients. So a lot of people focus on vanity metrics like the number of followers that they have. You can't control that, right? You can't control how many likes you get, but people focus on these things and say, like, if I get 300 likes, then that means that my post did really well. But did it do anything for your business, right? So people focus on vanity metrics all the time, but they're not doing anything for you. And they're constantly trying to march after that the same way they do with the algorithm. It's not something that you can control. So you need to focus on what you can control rather than those things. It's great to have a like, but if you have 1,000 likes and nobody's talking to you about the content that you put in there, it doesn't matter, right? You're not growing your business per se. So that's why we don't want to focus on the algorithm or vanity metrics. And the last point here is just remember that all the platforms work. Okay. A lot of people will take a look and say, well, LinkedIn is better than Facebook or Instagram's better than TikTok. They all work. It's not about the platform, it's about your content and where your audience is. So you want to make sure that you're on the right platforms for where your particular audience is. My particular audience is on Instagram. I have a Facebook account, but that's because I had a Facebook account from when I was younger, right? If today I was to start again, had no platforms, I probably wouldn't have a Facebook platform because that's not where my audience is. So maximizing where you're spending your time means you know your ideal client, meaning you know where they hang out, and that's the platform you're going to be on. That's the platform you're going to go all in on. And I suggest doing one platform at a time, building it, being super comfortable with it, and then moving on. I would say no more than one or two platforms to begin with so you don't overwhelm yourself. Because the reality is, if you don't have a lot of time as well in the day, you're busy ladies, you have other things to do, you don't want to spend 10 hours every day just trying to be like, okay, let me manage Facebook, and then I got to jump to Instagram, and then it's not worth it. So just know your client and say, I'm going to be where they are. Because at the end of the day, it's about them, not you, right? So any questions so far? Comments? How do you guys feel about the social platforms you're on currently?
Oh, I have a question.
For sure. What's up,
You
Susie?
asked something about spam. What's spam, Angelique?
Spam. So spam is
Spam.
when yeah. So spam is content that you maybe continuously get notifications for. You're tagged in. Could be videos, could be posts, could be images. But it's basically content that A, has nothing to do with anything you are interested in, whether it's business or personal. And it's something that is sent to a mass amount of people, meaning that it's not directed for you. It could be somebody promoting their business and they tag 70 people in it. You've maybe never spoken to this person, okay? But they're promoting something. So for you, that's spam. Another thing for spam is when this is common on Instagram in particular, somebody will create an account. It has like this really weird long name, right? You go to the account and there's random images, but they will post a comment maybe on your platform. You put up a post and they comment, they say, hey Susie, check out my Forex trading. I'm doing so well. That's not what you were writing about. You were talking about maybe your weekend and how great it was. So spam content is when it has nothing relevant to do with you, and it's usually mass promotion of something, as well as it's tagged with a lot of people. So you'll see many examples of that. And if I can find some specific examples as I'm showing you in the platforms, then I will definitely do so. But I get spam content all the time, all the time. And even people who are high up in like Twitterati. So Twitterati is a fun term that they use for people who have very large followings on Twitter. So celebrities, influencers, things like that. But even those people who like, Rihanna, the singer, she's got like 30 million people following her, and she'll still have somebody post on her comments. Everybody's like, wow, congratulations. And somebody will post, hey, Rihanna, do you want to make money? Like, nothing to do with it, right? And like, I think she has enough money. She's a billionaire. Just but, so you'll notice spam content very quickly. You'll notice it. It has nothing to do with you. It clearly is not engaging with you. It's kind of just throwing facts and things at you that don't matter to you. And it's important to report that because those accounts pop up so fast. You will see the option of blocking it, and then they will say block others like it because once they get blocked, they just make another. Yeah. Other
Yeah,
questions?
where could you report it if you ever saw such a
I'm going to
thing?
show you.
Oh,
I will show you. Absolutely. I won't leave you hanging. I will show you. All right. Any other questions so far? Okay. Let's move on. So we're gonna start with the big bad boy, Facebook, where everybody's on, and there are about it's still the number one platform in the world, despite all of the controversy I think that follows Facebook. It's still the largest social media platform in the world. Most social media platforms are actually trying to catch up to Facebook. Their number one goal for many of them is to raise their level of users to what Facebook has. Okay, because Facebook is still the leading one. But Facebook, for your business and the way you communicate on Facebook, is that it's known for being socially engaging first and for casual conversation. Of course, you can use it for business, but you'll notice in Facebook, when people are posting, you'll probably see a lot of people posting more personal things, right? I had a baby, my nephew got married, very common. And it's known for the space where they want you to engage first before you post things. The reason why is because Facebook prides itself on being considered a social platform, meaning they really want you to take the time to socialize with other people's content in order for them to, in the algorithm, at least at this point, because it might change tomorrow, for your post to do well. So if you notice, you might put up a post and you didn't do comment on anybody's post in your news feed, you just put up a post, and maybe you notice, not a lot of people seem to comment, whereas you're used to getting more comments, right?
Yeah.
That is a part of Facebook's algorithm, that they want you to connect with other people's things that you see in your feed so that they will happily promote what you're posting. Other platforms don't really care about that, and that's not how they work. In some sense, every algorithm has that they want engagement, but Facebook is definitely known for somewhat penalizing you if you're not engaging. So it's always important to engage a little bit before you post. That can really
Okay.
help more people see your feed. So first, Zara, she had a question.
Yeah, so engaging, could it be just liking or should I make a comment?
Comment. The liking of anything now is not enough to consider engagement. You have to comment. And the general rule of thumb for Facebook could be different for other platforms, but generally is 5 words or less. So when you just write congratulations, happy birthday, that's not enough. That's not considered engagement. That's considered you just reiterating something that's common. They want you to the way they're thinking of it is let's get to know each other. Let's connect. So a casual comment is not the same as connecting. So when you do type 5 or more words, it feels like it's a longer, they look at it as a longer post, so that means you're connecting. You're not just writing 1 or 2 words. Thank you. You're welcome. You're awesome. Like, they want you to read the post and really make a meaningful comment. So for a rule of thumb, 5 words or less. Oh, sorry, 5 words or more is the general idea.
Okay. So sometimes somebody will say, I just won a prize. Instead, I'll start to say, congratulations. Facebook writes the word for you, and then it gives you happy faces, cheers, pom-poms, and all that stuff. So that doesn't really count as engaging.
So they're giving you easy to use prompts because they know people, those are common things. For them, that is a form of Facebook creating another opportunity for you to use something that they've made specifically. So think about it this way. If you write congratulations on an Instagram post, does anything fun come up? No, it doesn't.
I don't know, because I mostly do it on Facebook.
Okay, so I'm just telling you, so for the other platforms, that's not how it works. If you wrote congratulations on Instagram, these fun things that Facebook does not come up for those words. It's specifically for Facebook. That's another feature that they are trying to add on to make it more fun to engage, but they still want you to engage beyond it. It's similar. It's kind of like a starter because they know you're going to say congratulations. So why not make that feature more fun? So it's just a feature, but it doesn't mean that trumps the way they want you to connect. They're just making the posts that you're connecting on a little bit more fun, and so that you maybe will engage more.
But that doesn't count as engagement, though.
Doesn't count as engagement. It's still just 1 word.
So you're better off saying, I really love your pink dress, Angelique.
Exactly.
Okay.
I really love it. Oh, congratulations. Getting a new house is so exciting. Better than congratulations,
Okay.
right? They want you to take the time to say, I looked at your post, I understood what it was. Anybody can type congratulations. And the reason why they're also doing this is because bots are being used. Tech bots, like you go on Messenger and you get an instant message reply, and you're chatting with a computer online, a bot. They're trying to minimize those things because those things are increasing. So they know you're real when you're writing more. And right, when you just type in one word answer, that could be a bot. That's why they're trying to make sure that you're engaging. And this also helps them to see who's really utilizing the platform in the way it's meant to be used. That helps you with Facebook. They want people on their platforms to use it as intended. If you want to promote your business, not a problem. They don't technically like it for personal profiles. They prefer you create a business page. But at the end of the day, they would still prefer you post and use it in the way that they want you to, which is number one, engagement. Engagement. It's about really connecting. Say what people can say what they want about Facebook, but really the idea behind Facebook is to socially connect. So one word answers is not you connecting. Right?
Even though the Facebook bots are writing all that stuff.
Of course.
Right?
They don't mind you using their bots, but they still want you to go beyond. It's kind of a starter. They're looking at it as, here's a fun way to start it. Oh, balloons, great. Let's keep going. Congratulations, but congratulations, why? Write some more. And even if that person responds back to you with a one-word answer, that's not the problem. What they're looking at is your engagement, so they can match that with your post getting more play in the feed.
Okay. Follow-up question. Yeah. So, and does it matter our comment is on personal Facebook or the business Facebook? Does it matter?
Sorry, if your content is on your
business the comment, for example, if I wanted to get more engagement on my Facebook business page,
right?
But if I make a comment on other people's just general page, yes. Does it have the same effect of getting people to my business page?
Doesn't have the same effect. The reason why is because your account with Facebook is a personal account. Always. Everybody starts with a personal account. You then can create a business account, right? You can create a business page and things like that after. So it's always connected to your personal account first, right? That is what's going to determine where people go. And if you want people to see more of your content for your business page, the idea of getting engagement for your business page is mostly tied to ads. That's why a lot of people still use their personal profile on Facebook for business, because business pages don't get enough traction on Facebook if you don't have ads. That's generally, unless you're purposely directing people and saying on your personal page, hey, check out my business page, you will see that on your business page, you're not going to get as much traction because they tie a lot of business pages to ads. They want you to get an ad account for more people to see you. And that's just the premise of it. While it's great to have a business page, I have one, but I'll be honest with you, I don't utilize it as much because I can direct people from my personal page on where I want them to go. So if you want to have great content, I would recommend that on your business page, you can repurpose content from your personal page that you've used on your about your business, just repost it on your business page, right? So you're just repurposing content. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. And then tell people, hey, have you heard about or checked out my new business page? Here's where it is. Because most people aren't going to find it, to be honest with you. That's just the way Facebook has changed. It used to be different, but when they started introducing ads, that was the premise, that ads were connected to the business page. You would get more traction on the business page. As your popularity grows, people will then go to your business page. But if you're starting with a business page to build, it's going to be harder than just using your personal page and directing people there.
Okay, so you're saying that, for example, if I want to post something business related, it's better to be on my personal page and then have the same thing on my business
Exactly.
page, and then
Exactly. Yeah.
but also there is another I think tab, it says share
Yes.
in the business page. Can I just put in a business page and then say share and then invite people to?
Yeah, you can do that from your business page, but I will tell you that your personal page, moving from your personal page to your business page, is a better idea than doing business and then to personal and tagging. I find that, again, like I said, Facebook, their algorithms are very specific. If they want people to see your business page, you can be very active on there. And I know, I will tell you, there's a woman named Kimberly Olson. She speaks about how she really utilized her business page. I'll put her information so you can check her out on Facebook yourself. But she has really great content on how to utilize your business page well for Facebook. But I will tell you, even she still uses her personal page because you have the majority of people that you know already there. So why make it difficult for yourself by saying, hey, follow me over here, when the content that you're putting on here, you can repurpose and tell people later, hey, I'm also on here. Every post that you put out, you can say, hey, also be sure to check out or follow me on here. Hey, I'm doing a live on my business page. Come check me out. Go to your DM, say, hey, have you checked out my business page? Here's the link. Like, it's better to go with what you have in your personal and move to the business page. Does that make sense?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Well,
Okay.
and then again, follow-up question
Yeah.
for the Facebook. I don't post any personal thing, and I think I actually I have not posted for like 5-6 years now because
Right.
I don't want to put my personal stuff.
Totally fair.
Is it a good idea to put some personal stuff and then kind of mix them with business? Or how should I move forward? Because I'm very private. I don't feel like, telling other people sometimes, or even a stranger, what I'm doing, what I'm, whatever. And how can I be professional, but at the same time more engaging and not always talking about the business in my personal.
Totally. That's a really great question. I think that's something most people struggle with, like how to balance personal with business. The reality is we live in a day and age where people want to know about you. You have a business, but who's behind the business? More and more people are becoming socially conscious and they support businesses of people that they know, like, and trust. So if you're constantly only posting about business, it's at a deficit to you because people don't know, like, and trust you. And you make it easier by sharing something personal. So here's a general rule of thumb. For yourself to get more comfortable with it, you don't need to share everything. I certainly don't. I think that what I share about are certain topics that are really interesting to me. Maybe you like to cook. You could share a picture saying, hey, here's what I made for dinner tonight. Show me what you guys are making for dinner, right? That is something that's personal without going deep into your personal life. You can have basic topics that you want to focus your personal life or your personal posts around without it being intrusive. You don't need to tell people all the things, but they still want to know a little bit about you. Hey, Zara likes to cook, so do I. I love that picture. Hey, where can I get that recipe? Here's where you can get that recipe. That's building engagement and know, like, and trust. It doesn't have to be super involved. So choose 3 categories of things you really enjoy and post about those things, because that will get people to be engaged without you having to go super deep into your personal life, but it will help you to feel comfortable as well in sharing more personal things. And then if you want to branch out, then you can add more, right? You can share more about yourself as you go, but start with just even 3 basic groups of things you like. You like to cook, you like to travel, you like to exercise, share that. And in there's so many great areas. Cooking, you can share recipes, you can share pictures of what you're making, you can share things you've made in the past. You can ask the audience, which is a great way for engagement. Ask the audience, hey, what's your favorite recipe for lemonade or something like that. So you're still just focusing on that area you love, but there's so much content, personal content you can get from that, and it doesn't have to be intrusive. Does that help?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you can preface that with maybe you post 2 times a week. You post personal, and the other times you post business. Like you can temper that the way you want it to go, but you definitely want to have a combination.
But how often do we need to post on Facebook?
So again, people will say these things too. You should post this amount of time. The general rule of thumb is that the minimum is once a day. Okay, once a day, because if you're building momentum and you want to build your audience, you got to be consistent. So try for once a day. Okay, then you can add on more. I know people who do 3 times a day, but that's also because they're at a certain level that they know how to manage their time. They know the kind of content, so it's easier. But don't overwhelm yourself. Put in the content. Just make it once a day. You can think ahead. Hey, for this week, I want to talk about personal things 3 times in the week. The other 4 times, I'm going to do business. For personal, I'm going to talk about this recipe I made. Like you don't have to make it overwhelming, but sometimes planning in advance is going to be helpful. But a minimum once a day. If you're building an audience, you're building that know, like, and trust factor, that's what you want to do.
Okay. And can I more question? I'm sorry, I'm holding up everyone here, but so for Facebook, for the content, because sometimes I'm reading like a scientific article and I really like it on BBC, and if I share that on my Facebook, does it count as a engagement and content?
So it does, but you want to add to it. The one thing that I absolutely hate seeing, and I know Facebook is also like, this is ridiculous, is when people just share. They report you, like, you shared something, Zara. I press, let me share to my page, right? And I don't type anything above it. I'm not typing in my feelings on it. I'm just resharing for the sake of resharing. That's not how the algorithm benefits. Tell people why you're sharing it, right? Like, this video is super funny. I really liked the part at the end. Tell me what you think. That's engaging, because then people have to watch to the end, which is what you want, and tell you. You're giving them a call to action. At every post, give a call to action. Whether it's, tell me what you're eating for dinner tonight, or, hey, I found this, quote, do you agree? That's a call to action. Like, you want to engage your audience, and don't just repost for the sake of reposting. It makes your personal page look unorganized, and it makes it look unprofessional. You're not giving me anything or a reason to watch or engage with this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, thank you so much. And sorry, guys, for asking.
No,
that's okay.
No, that's all good.
No,
that's what this is all
about.
about.
Learn from your questions too.
Yes.
So,
and yourself, Angeline?
Yes. So with me, these are my questions. Okay, like, for example, I like dogs. So, I would share, like, I like to walk my dog and what my interesting thing my dog does. But I don't do much business, but I want to focus, because of my business, for my audience, is in the LinkedIn. Yeah. So what your advice on that for people to engage? Because, in LinkedIn, it is not a social thing.
Absolutely. So I'm going to talk about LinkedIn too, but I do agree that LinkedIn, again, like I said, every platform has their way of communicating, right? They have their way of connecting. With LinkedIn, I will say it has moved, and this is something people have been talking about lately with LinkedIn. It has moved from more of a facts business only to let's connect and engage. That is why they started adding stories, creating the ability for you to make lives, because other platforms are doing that. So they started bringing those things in. When it comes to being on LinkedIn, you can still share personal content, but it will not be as frequent as it would be on Facebook. The reason why is because, again, Facebook is known for that socially casual connection, right? You can still post about business, but people want to know what your dog likes to eat. Like, that's just how Facebook operates. That's its foundational energy. With LinkedIn, its foundational energy is always business first. So yes, you can do that, but I would suggest a great way to do that is to post about your dog and see how maybe you can connect it some way to business. Even if you can't connect it to business, still post about your business in there. So for example, this weekend I got a chance to take a break from business and spend time with my dog outside. I really love doing that. I'd love to know for you, what do you do to take care of yourself as a business owner? Or, how do you practice self-care as a business owner? I, at the same time, in case you haven't or you don't know a little bit about me, like this is what I do. And you could tell them, like, I'm an action coach. So you can tie this with your dog. I'm an action coach and I love making progress on things. That includes when I'm walking my dog, like we try to walk a little bit further every day. So we take action on that. Or, we're taking action together by keeping fit. What do you do to keep fit as an entrepreneur? You're connecting what you do. You're an action coach. Perfect. How are you taking action in this picture? You're walking with your dog and making sure you're taking care of yourself. Call to action. What do you do as an entrepreneur? You have every point in there, and it's not just about personal. You've included business. So every time you're posting personal, I don't think it should be as frequent as it would be on Facebook. Doesn't mean it can't be done, but it's think about those key points. How can I include my business? How can I tie in what I'm doing in the picture? And what's my call to action? Does that help?
Yes. Thank you.
No problem.
Okay.
Awesome.
Right. Okay.
So when you're on Facebook, you're going to be focusing on use. It's more accommodating for longer posts. I'm sure you've seen people post essays on Facebook. Definitely the platform to do that. You'll also see an overuse of emojis, I find, on Facebook. Every other word is an emoji or something like that. Very casual, okay? Your friends count on this platform is kind of the focus where you'll be for growth, but you also want to be mindful of the friends that you have, okay? Like if I try to minimize friends and family on social media, period, because how I look at it is I'm using it for business. It's social for business. So I can talk to my friends and family through, texting or phone calls. I don't need to talk to them necessarily on social media. Everybody gets a chance to make that decision for themselves. But when you invite people to be your friends, you want to make sure they're your ideal client. There's no point in talking to a bunch of people online if you could talk to them in another way. There's no point in spending your time talking to those people who are never going to buy from you, right? That's who's seeing your stuff. It's the people in your friends list who see things in your feed. But if they're never going to buy from you and they're not your ideal client, why are they on your friends, right? So I'm not saying to cut off every friend and family member. I'm just saying be strategic about who you're allowing to be your friends. And you can find out once you know who your ideal client is, you can easily go to that person, say, Susie, I'd love for you to be my friend. You get a friend request, go to their page, see what kind of content they have, right? Is this somebody that you can work with? Like either they could be a client of yours, or you could be a client of theirs, or you could collaborate with. Ask yourself those 3 questions, okay? And if they're not, or this is not you see the kind of content that you would not engage with, or it doesn't interest you, then no, you don't have to be everybody's friend. You can easily decline. They'll never know you declined, so it's not like they'll get a notification, and that's fine. So just keep that in mind. Your friends is really important. Some people have only 1,000 friends, but they have a 6-figure business, as opposed to people who have the max limit of 5,000 friends on Facebook and they don't have any business, because they strategically focused on who's their friends so that their content goes to the right people. That's what it's about. If you're using Facebook for business or any platform for business, think about the people that are following you and you're following, right? That's important.
How can I'm sorry to interrupt.
Okay.
How can I, for example, if I'm like a new entrepreneur and I want to connect with others, should I type it like, I don't know, how can I find people who are like-minded, and then
groups? In the search for any platform, type in things that you're looking for as things that your ideal client would like, right? So maybe you're a fitness coach, and you know that your particular ideal client, maybe they have diabetes, okay? So you want to specifically help people who have diabetes with their health. Find groups for diabetics. Connect in those groups. Get to know people in the groups. Don't just add friend to everybody. That's another thing Facebook hates, is when people, utilize that. They consider that for the wrong reasons. but introduce yourself in the group. Hey, I'm new to this group and I'm new to Facebook. Would love to connect with some of you. Share a little bit about yourself and what you do. This is a way to engage. This is a way to grow friendship. Groups are great for that. If you don't have anybody that you can automatically think of, that's really important. Go to other people's pages, personal pages, and if they allow you to, you can see their friends list. And again, you can just see, hey, would this person be somebody I want to connect with? So type in topics. Those are great ways to come up, like to give you different groups. And that's a great way to start that off. I think that it's really important. Again, this is a great way to be mindful about who you're asking to be friends with. Posting on Facebook too, and just getting out there. If you want to start, you could have a public page. That does open you up to the world. So yes, you're going to get weirdos. I'll be honest. Okay. My block list is pretty long, but you're also going to get people who Facebook will share, hey, Zara's into health. We've seen that she's posted about some things. We'll put her in the feed of other people who've said they like health, right? Facebook will help you get into those feeds, but you just got to start by posting and engaging. And engaging on other people's content is going to be helpful for you. Plus, the beauty of that is once you start gaining access to other people, you're gaining access to their network, right? Once they friend you, you will then be able to see, hey, who are some people commenting on their posts? Maybe I could be friends with them too. This grows your network by seeing who's posting on their stuff as well. So that'll be helpful for you. And Susie?
So I have gone to different Facebook groups, so like pain related Facebook groups, because my business is, in regards to health, eliminating pain, stem cell regeneration, and so forth. Mm-hmm. And there's two issues, at least I can think of. Number one, in some of those groups, they only let the administrator post. Or you have to fill out some long questionnaire, or they don't let you sell. That means you can't even talk about your product. So it's useless if I talk about theoretical pain, if I can't talk about my solution. So that's one thing. The other thing, excuse me, I gotta drink water.
No problem.
Hang on. On some groups, I've actually engaged with some of the comments people have made, like, oh my God, my back is killing me, my knees are killing me, and so forth and so on.
Yeah.
I have posted, I have a solution. I'd be happy to connect with you and send you some information. And then I have gotten rabid comments like, oh my God, you're trying to take advantage of our pain. It's like, whatever. You know what I mean? I have a solution. If you don't want it, that's your choice. But this is a group talking about pain.
No, I totally get it. And here's the way around that. So with most groups, they all have, not all of them, okay, there are actually quite a lot of groups where they're actually super keen for you to post about your business. But I totally understand that the majority of groups are more like, again, let's just connect, but it's not about selling.
Yeah, sometimes they'll allow you to. Excuse me, I just call it let's just moan and groan about it.
Right, that's definitely a way to look at that for sure. So a way around this is posting of value first, meaning instead of saying, hey, I have a way around that. Somebody says, oh, my knee is aching. Okay. And then you say, hey, I have a way around that. Why don't you DM me? Don't say I have a way around that. The reason why is because they instantly are like, oh, she's trying to sell me, which is fine that you are. Okay. So I just want to be very honest with that, but that's not how they see it. The way around that is saying, yeah, I felt the same way, or I've had pain. Maybe it wasn't the knee, be honest, maybe you've had back pain. I've had back pain before, but I was using something that was super helpful. If you want to know more, then DM me, right? Different than, hey, I have something. Instead, you're saying, hey, I can relate, which is what they want. They want you to relate. The moaning and groaning is saying, it's basically them saying, who else can commiserate with me? Not that you're commiserating, but you can say, hey, I've had pain too. I was using something that was super effective. If you want to know more, feel free to DM me. Okay. It's casual. It's not any pressure. You're saying, I relate, and this was helping me. And then you can, in your DMs, if they message you, just say, then you can, present what it is and give them more. But just by saying I have something is them thinking you're not relating to me, you're just trying to sell. And that wasn't the intention, but that's how it comes off.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. And I have a, oh, sorry?
No, you echoed. I think you echoed.
Oh, sorry. Am I echoing still?
No, I think you're good.
No. Yeah.
So yeah, that's just one thing to keep in mind, that these groups, promos and all the things, even if you're posting for engagement and just to get people to know that you're there, post value. Take something you posted in the week on your personal page and repurpose that in a group, right? Like I wrote something on Tuesday, I repurposed that on Friday in a group, right?
Oh.
Because I've posted enough throughout the week that they're not like, whatever, it's moved down, so who cares? And the reality is, you're probably gonna have to repeat yourself constantly just for people to see your stuff. Like, don't be afraid to say the same thing over and over. For you, it may sound like you're repeating yourself, but the reality is not everybody's seeing your posts, right? So it's okay. Like, you think, oh, I've said this twice already this week. Say it another 2 times, because people are not always getting your stuff, right? And that's just the reality. Plus, repetition is key. You want people to remember you for that thing. Later on, when somebody says to them, oh my gosh, my back is killing me, they'll be like, there's this girl, Susie, that I keep seeing her stuff, and she does pain stuff. Like, you never know where the referral is going to come from. Right? So you want to put yourself in that position by repeating. You'll see people constantly saying, hey, some new friends and faces here. I just want to reintroduce myself. So people do that, I know, like every 2 weeks, just to say, hey, like, again, it's just a refresher. So not everybody on your friends list is seeing your stuff. That's not how Facebook's algorithm works.
Yeah, and because Angelique, that I found out too, is that with Facebook, I don't know with LinkedIn and the other one, that just because you post today, I mean, it's gone.
It's gone. Absolutely. Yeah. And that is why you have to repeat yourself. And when you go into these groups, they're looking for you to show that you're a person there to add value first. Then a good thing to do when you go to groups that are key groups for you, keep in mind, key groups don't always mean that they're you want to think outside the box for groups too. Don't just go to groups that have, pain groups, okay? Because guess what, Susie? You're also competing with all the other people who do pain relief. Go to other things. Go to groups of, think outside the box. So sports,
exercise
groups, even just groups of things you like, right? Mm-hmm. Because people will say, hey, like, what do you do? It actually comes up more often than you think. Mm-hmm. But you're going to find a market that you're not competing with all these other people who are specifically in there who also are in the same industry as you. So think outside the box for groups. And it's just really important to remember that in groups, get to know the admins. If you are going to be in a group and you want to spend more time in that group, feel free to message the admins and say, hey, thanks for accepting me in this group. I'm excited to add value, because when they start seeing your posts, they will favor your stuff.
Oh.
Okay? So the first thing to do for any group is get to know the admins of groups that you really want to be active in, and just repurpose content. And always do a call to action at the end of that content. Like, hey, I have a free, free ebook on pain relief. If you want it, let me know. Like, that for them is value. You're not trying to sell per se, even if they know fully on the back end there's an offer. That's not you trying to sell. But once you get to know the admins, they're way more likely to be okay with your posts like that, because you're adding value constantly and they know you. So just keep that in mind.
Okay, Angelique, in some groups, I've noticed that the only people that post is the admin. Mm-hmm. So I don't want to post there, because to me, that means that person owns that group.
Yeah, absolutely. And to be honest, they're allowed to do what they want. If it's their group, read the rules of groups that you really want to be in. I would suggest start with 3 groups. Okay, and be active in those groups weekly. Read what their rules are. The violating of rules is actually, once you read the rules, you'll find that they tend to be the same across the board in many ways. Plus, if they have promo days, it's good to make note when those days are on your calendar so that you can make sure you take advantage of them. So reading the rules will also tell you when they have those things available, like promo Saturday or whatever it is. But that's a great thing for you. And keep a spreadsheet, like, hey, on Thursdays, I post on my personal page about my upcoming offer. I can repurpose content from Monday onto my business page on Thursday. And I'm going to take some content I had and put it in that group. And I know on Saturdays I can promote in that group. Like, keep note of these things. At first, it seems overwhelming and like, oh my gosh, there's so much to do. But I can guarantee you, you're going to save time. You're going to save headache. You're going to save overwhelm by just mapping it out from the beginning. And then it's just going to become clockwork, right? It's just the practice. And then you're going to be like, yes, I know on Tuesdays, I always post about personal. On Wednesdays, I always post my offer. Like, you will know your own schedule. Do not feel that you need to follow other people's schedules. Every social media influencer has a schedule. They all have their own strategy. The point right now is to get consistent. It does not matter about what you're posting and like when and like all the things that the influencers want to tell you. I agree they're great strategies, but when you're starting out, number one is consistency. You're not going to grow your audience if you're in and out, right? They want to get to know, like, and trust you by being consistent.
But when you say repost, you mean say the exact same thing with the same picture?
Exact same things. If you knew how much people repurpose content, just what I put on Facebook, I will take and put on LinkedIn. I will maybe change one or two things, remove some emojis, and there you go. It's a brand new post on LinkedIn. I guarantee you that people from LinkedIn probably didn't see it on my Facebook page. I don't need to reinvent the wheel every time I write a post. That is why having categories of like saying, hey, I post about, for my personal, I post about cooking, I post about exercise, and I post about travel. If you know those are the three categories, I guarantee you, and you start getting comfortable with, say, hey, how can I make this a personal post on LinkedIn and add my business and give a call to action? When you get comfortable with that flow you create, you're going to create a new way for you to connect on that platform without having to reinvent the wheel for the platform. As you gain momentum and confidence with the platforms and using platforms, sure, create new content. That's not the problem. But when you're starting out, you don't need to make it more complicated for you by saying every day I got to make something new for every platform. You would be surprised how many people will repurpose content. And it's not a problem because nobody saw it on Instagram, and they didn't see it on Facebook. People on Instagram didn't see it on Facebook. It's totally fine.
Okay.
Totally fine. As you grow your business and your audience grows, you may want to switch things up because they will probably follow you across platforms. But in the beginning, it's just about consistency. Just get consistent. And even if that's just a post today and you like take a selfie and you're like, oh, like, I don't know, like it's really hot where I am today. I would love to know, how do you guys keep cool? One of my favorite ways to keep cool is making lemonade. I have this really great recipe and I'll drop it for you. If you want to know more, do a hand emoji in the comments. It's engaging. Then you can, maybe you sell lemonade recipes and you can give them your specific recipe with your product, right? Like it's whatever you're doing for that day. People just want to know. It sounds crazy, but people actually care if you take a picture of your food and you're like, I had avocado toast, and it's crazy because I used to think that was just mind blowing. But people engage. They go, wow, like that looks so tasty. Oh my gosh, I wish I could have some. When can I come for dinner? That's engagement. That's engagement, right? Like it sounds crazy, but then you can then private message that person and say, hey, thanks for commenting about coming for dinner. I'd love to have you over sometime. How are you? Do you see how you're building that rapport? Like most people do not DM people from their comments because they're like, I don't have time. When you're starting out, make time. The reason why is because you're building the know, like, and trust factor off of the posts and you're actually getting personal. Most people are like, you messaged me? Like, okay, but they like that. I've had people who are massive influencers. I don't know if you've ever heard of Jasmine Star, but she is a massive influencer who teaches about She has a business around photography, but so she teaches you how to take great pictures and use it for social media. I commented on what she has, like, I don't know, a million followers. I commented on one of her comments and she personally DM'd me.
Well, what does that mean? DM me. What's that?
Direct message. So when you have Facebook Messenger,
Yeah.
right? That's a DM, a direct message.
Oh.
So if you say to somebody, DM me, it means send me a direct message. So they will then have a private message with you. It's also called PM for private message. And they'll talk to you outside of that post.
Oh, and it's on Facebook Messenger?
Yes. So Facebook Messenger, they can DM you there. And Instagram has their own version of Instagram Messenger. You can private, LinkedIn, you can send a private message or direct message. So this is what you want to take it off of there, right? Because then you're getting to know the person. You can share more. They might be able to, like, hey, I'm so glad you reached out. My friend was asking for me about something the other day, and I was thinking of you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just a way to grow the know, like, and trust. Take some time to DM people who comment on your stuff. Like, it's great to respond to comments, but if you take some time, it's going to really benefit your business. Like, when Jasmine Star messaged me, I thought it was a bot. I thought it was spam. I thought somebody was, like, pranking me. And she was like, no, it's really Jasmine. I just wanted to say thanks. Like, that was so cool. Like, most people are taken aback. Like, if your favorite star or person you follow messaged you, you'd probably be like, wow, they took the time, right? You'd probably like them more.
Yeah.
So just keep in mind, it goes a long way for your business. Even if you just said 10 minutes a day, I'm going to look through my comments and connect with people. And it could be like, hey, you commented on something a while ago, but I just wanted to see how you are. Like, you never know. Somebody could say, hey, I'm doing okay, but, like, my knees have been hurting me. Well, I have something for that, right? So again, like, you don't know what comes from it. And as you're starting out, it's about connection. It's always about connection. People who do very well know how to connect with people, whether it's on Facebook or on LinkedIn. So Facebook is just more casual. So you can see here some features of Facebook. They got free Facebook groups, business pages we spoke about, personal pages, marketplace or Facebook shops is what they call it now in certain countries. That's for e-com, or if you're selling stuff. If you have an e-commerce business, marketplace is huge. Stories, 24 hours to post something sounds somewhat ridiculous. Like, oh, okay, but if you knew how much business was done in stories, you would make a priority of utilizing the Facebook stories feature.
Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I'll show you when I do the platform. So okay. Lives, I know people struggle with lives because they don't like to be on camera, but there is a way on Facebook where you can do a live just for you to practice. So nobody has to see it, but you just start getting comfortable. Even if you have a Zoom account, just log in, start talking to yourself, right? Like, start pretending you're talking to people. Get confident with that, because I will tell you, video is the way every platform is going. LinkedIn is more video focused now. They also have live feature. TikTok is its own beast, and it's just video, right? Everybody is going to video. So I understand not being comfortable there. My first live video was a hot mess, but it's about getting confident. Okay, even if one person is watching or nobody's watching, it just builds your confidence on being on camera. Messenger, where you're gonna have your DMs or your PMs, whichever you wanna call it, and Creator Studio, which is it's a Facebook platform that connects your Facebook and Instagram account in one place, and you can make posts for both your Facebook or your Instagram in one spot. You can schedule things. It's a little bit more advanced, so I don't think you necessarily need it, but once you get comfortable, Creator Studio is a really great spot, especially for scheduling content. And on Facebook, be mindful of having multiple accounts. Facebook is definitely cracking down on people with multiple accounts. They're not a fan of it because they're battling so much with people's identity stealing. So if you have more than one account, they don't know if it's really you or somebody trying to be you. So they're really trying to minimize that. Can you have multiple accounts? Yes, I have 2 accounts right now, but the minute I created my second account, they shut me down, and I had to go to Facebook and explain why, because I had a personal, and I was like, I'll make one for business. And I had started posting for business, and they shut me down. And I had to go there to their, like, what I call to get out of Facebook jail. I had to go to Facebook court and tell the judge why I had a second account. Now, at that point, it's on Facebook to decide what they want to do. Most times they restore it if you can tell them, like, hey, I'm not trying to manipulate what you offer as a platform. But they really are cutting down on it. And it's a great thing to not have too many platforms, too many accounts too, because it lends weight to hackers. It lends weight to people utilizing, if you have more accounts, it's more opportunity for people to hack it. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Okay. Let's talk about my favorite platform, Instagram. I know a lot of people don't understand Instagram or why it's so popular, but Instagram is now owned by Facebook, and Instagram really blew up because of its revolutionary feed. The way that things are on the Instagram platform is that it minimizes all of the bells and whistles that Facebook generally has on the sides. If you go to your Facebook account online, you'll see there's like a whole side of tabs and all these things. Instagram is a very clean platform. It makes it better for your message and the image you want people to focus on, because it's image first. So it's a great way to build your business that way. And Angeline, did you have another question? I just saw your hand up. I didn't want to.
No. I forgot to put that
want to make
down
sure.
there.
That's okay.
Yes.
That's okay. So Instagram is known for hashtags. Hashtags were around before Instagram. Twitter was using hashtags. Probably they were the first ones to really utilize hashtags. But Instagram kind of just became known for hashtags. And I'm going to talk about why hashtags are very important for your business and how to use them. It was created as an app first, so it works best on the app. Facebook was created as a browser. So browser is when you log in to Facebook on your laptop or your home computer, your desktop. Instagram was not created as that. If you'll notice, and I'm going to show you on my laptop what Instagram looks like, it looks completely different than the actual app, because it was created and meant to be utilized as an app first. All the features and all the bells and whistles work on the app. You have limited features and things that you can use if you open Instagram on your laptop. So it's the only app that I actually have on my phone, because all the other ones work pretty well on your laptop. It has incredible features, and while it's owned by Facebook, it's very different than Facebook. The features that they have, let alone for when you're creating a story or when you're putting up a post, it's so different. Plus, they have 3 types of accounts. You can have a personal or individual account. You can have a business account, or you can have a creator account. They all come with different features and, kind of pros and cons, depending on what you want to do. But I would highly suggest using the creator account, or just changing your account for business to a creator account, because you get more features, such as if you are putting up an Instagram story, you can use songs in your story to add to whatever you're posting. You have features like you can get paid for putting up reels. Okay, like reels are quick clips. They're basically exactly what TikTok's about. 15-second clips, but it's Instagram's response to TikTok. When TikTok became so popular, people were taking their TikTok videos and putting them on Instagram, and Instagram didn't like that. So they created Instagram Reels, which allows you to create videos similar to TikTok, but you don't have to leave Instagram. It's all about keeping you on the platform, right? Every platform wants you to stay on the platform and spend as much time there. So they just have really great features, and I really recommend the creator feature because it comes with more monetization options.
Hello?
The fact that you can monetize your reels is huge.
Okay.
Yeah,
Hi, Lenora. I'm good. I'm on a Zoom call. That's all right.
Maybe.
Oh, you can call me in about 2.
Oh, Susie, can you
Thanks.
mute, please?
Okay. So So creator account just gives you more options for monetization. If you have a shop, you can create a shop. Like you can post your particular items from your on Instagram. So it's all in one spot. It's a really great way to highlight your business more. So a creator account is a great idea, if not a business. I had a business account and I switched to creator account because of the better features and options. Yes, Sarah?
Well, how can it be switched from business to
I can show you.
okay.
Yeah. So
And
yeah.
also, okay, I'm sorry. One more thing. In the creator account, can we put our website address?
Yes.
Okay, then because that feature is not in business account.
I know. Yeah, I know. So that's the beauty of creator. Like I said, they just give you better features. So most people now are switching from business to creator. I don't believe creator account was originally an option, but they created that because Instagram became known for people, influencers or creators using Instagram. So they kind of made that new account option. Yeah, so again, heavily photo and video focused, reels and lives are super popular. A great way to utilize it. And what I like about Instagram with lives is that Instagram allows you to connect with people better through a live because now you can have a live with multiple people. On Facebook, you used to have the feature, unless they've switched that and they've changed the algorithm again. But there was a time when you could include people, like you could have a dual conversation on a live with somebody on Facebook, and they removed that, and now Instagram allows you to have a conversation up to 4 people. So it could be all 4 of us on a live together. Maybe you want to do like a mini conference or a mini summit, and you have 4 speakers. That's a great way to connect to other people's audiences because their audiences will come to your platform and follow you as well. But it also creates a different dynamic for your lives. If you don't want to go live alone, you can make a feature. You could interview people, do like a mini conference, a mini summit. So just it gives you more options that way. Yes, Susie?
Could you please explain about stories, lives, and reels?
Okay. So I'm going to show you what they kind of look like after. But a story is a 24-hour clip that you can put on to, I believe it's only 10 seconds long, but it is open. It's going to be on your stories feature for 24 hours. You can post about anything on there. Many people post about business on there, whether it's, hey, did you know I'm having a 24-hour sale or something like it's really great for business. It drives engagement, and people today have very short attention spans. If you haven't already noticed, like everything gets shorter and shorter and shorter in time. And so that's a great feature because people like the quick clip, right? It engages them. They can learn something about you or your business, and you don't have to sit there and do like a webinar or like write a long post. You could just give them a quick, like you could say, hey, tip Tuesday. Did you know that, I don't know, knee pain is caused by, or, give a tip or something.
But it's literally only 10 seconds.
Yeah, I believe the clip is only 10 seconds long. I think it's between 8 or 10 seconds. Whereas TikToks, I believe, is 12 seconds. So again, it's just a little bit longer, but people, the difference between a story and a TikTok is that a TikTok is permanent. So if you have a TikTok account, any TikTok you're making, I can go back and look at it. Whereas a story disappears after 24 hours. Oh. Right? You, though, will still have access to the story. And the stories have so much information in there for you because in stories, you can put up a poll. So you could ask a question and people can press the button as a poll, which gives you insight to what your clients or your audience wants. You could say, hey, I was thinking to do a live on walking my dog or teaching my dog how to do tricks. Which one would you want to see? And people can click. That gives you, hey, now I know what my audience wants. So you're not having to guess, like, what do they want to see? Which is great. So Instagram gives you more options like polls, questions, utilizing music, all these great ways to engage your audience. And you can go back. So if I put up a story today, it disappears in 24 hours. And in 2 months, I can go back and say, hey, that story I did on April 22nd did really well. I can go back and see all the people who watched it. I can see if there was a poll, all the comments. So say you said, "Hey, I have a free offer on how to like get rid of knee pain. Would you want a copy?" People, you can say, put up the poll, yes or no. Everybody who said yes, you can go back to later. Hey, how did you like that copy of that knee pain? That like ebook I sent you. So you can.
How do you get a poll?
I will show you.
Oh.
It's absolute magic. It's great. So those
So
are.
I'm sorry, can I interrupt you? So the
Sure.
story you said is 8 to 10 seconds or the live?
8 to 10 seconds is the story, and you can have multiple stories. There's no limit from what I've seen. I see people who have like 25 stories a day, and they can be different things. One clip is you walking your dog. The next clip is you doing a business conference. It doesn't matter what you're putting in there. The point is that it's engaging, it's quick. It's quick access. Like people just want that quick hit of information, and they're getting to know, like, and trust you in a deeper way. So people will, you'll see, they're walking down the street and they'll be like, sunny day, that's the clip. Like that's it. And people are like, oh, I like it. Like it's crazy what people, will get engaged with. But that's what a story is. It's only there for 24 hours, and each story you create is, I think, between 8 and 10 seconds long. Okay. Then a live is when you do a live video. There's no time limit on those. And people can watch you and engage with you in real time. So you do a live, I go live now. Anybody who's on Facebook, Instagram, they'll probably get a notification to say, hey, Angelique's going live, so that they can come over and join me. And they can interact with me and ask questions as I'm doing that. That's a great option too if you have a business and you have products. I know a girl who does it every week. She kind of does a live TV show, right? It's basically your own platform to create your own media. And she will do a live TV show, talk about her products and say, hey, if you buy today on the live, I'm going to throw in this. She has built her business around doing that every week, right? It's your own TV show. So it's pretty cool.
Okay, yes, Angelique, I've done live posts on Instagram or Facebook, and I make it a testimonial. I say, oh my God, I'm so excited. My client called up last week and said, no more back pain after 24 years, yes. Blah, blah, blah. Is that good?
Absolutely. Testimonials are fantastic, especially in a story. It's a quick hit. People can see, hey, other people are liking what you sort like. It's a great way for people to get to know, like, and trust you. Definitely throw in testimonials where you can.
Okay.
Having multiple accounts is okay. On Instagram, you'll see people have a business account, they got a personal account, they got a creator account. They may have they have different brands, so they may have an account for each brand. So it is okay on Instagram to have multiple accounts. And your follower count is still important on here. It's not as important in regards to the feed and who's seeing what, because Instagram is more of a public space than most people think, meaning that yes, you have followers and they see what you have, but as opposed to Facebook, where it's just your friends list mostly that sees it, Instagram's a little bit more open. You can, again, modify the privacy settings, and I'm going to show you that too. But followers is important, and the great thing about Instagram is you can modify your followers, whereas on Facebook, if somebody's following you on Facebook, and the difference between a friend and a follower is that a friend is somebody who you accepted to say they add to your friend count. A follower is just somebody who you're not friends with, but they follow your content. So you don't have to have people be your friend in order for them to see your content. So that you'll see many people on Facebook who have the max amount of friends, which is 5,000 people. And in their post, they'll say, at their header, it'll say, follow, don't friend, because they're already at their max. So you can still see their content and they still want you to, but you just select to follow them instead of ask them to be your friend. And on Facebook, you can't remove somebody as your follower, but on Instagram you can. And that is good because then you get to see the right people that your followers, their stuff also pops up in your feed. So now you're curating, hey, these people are probably not ideal clients, so I don't need them to alter my feed by having them follow me. Do you know what I mean? And I know that sounds kind of like, well, if somebody's following you, that's great. But if they're not your ideal, again, always focus, is this my ideal client? Then you want to make sure that you have as many people as possible who are going to be supportive of what your business is in your feed, right? Because you want to interact with their things so they can interact with you too. So you can remove followers in Instagram, whereas Facebook, you have to change the setting completely in order to remove followers. And that's not what you necessarily want when you have a business. Were there questions?
Yeah, I had a question. Is it the same rule applies here? Because in Facebook, we were supposed to engage first in order to people to...
No, not the same rule.
Okay.
Instagram's not like that. They don't care if
we just post it there and then whoever is following us can see it.
That's the beauty of Instagram, is that it is more
direct.
Liking things is okay, more so, like, even if you don't comment, it's like a quick like is more acceptable on Instagram as engagement than it is on Facebook. Instagram is about the feed, and it's about, hey, you're gonna see my stuff regardless of if you commented on it or not. Like, that's not how Instagram works, which I like about Instagram, because it also saves me time. Sometimes you just don't, like, you're like, I have to engage first on Facebook in order for my post to necessarily be seen. I do agree with engaging on every platform no matter what. Okay, I just think it's just, you would want people to engage with your stuff. So if you're following other people, it's a good protocol to keep up. But Instagram is not based on that, whereas Facebook is heavy on engage first. That's a good thing.
Okay. Yes. Is it true that with this Facebook or Instagram, when you said you need to know your audience, that the Instagram more on the younger population than the Facebook, or am I just being generalized?
No, it's not generalized. I mean, I will be honest in saying most people, and it actually just came out in a study, I think last week, that most people, Facebook is considered to be baby boomer heavy, and a platform that mostly is used by Gen X and baby boomers. So I would say around like 40 and up is kind of the idea for Facebook. Most times you're not going to see, 18-year-olds or Gen Z on Facebook, because they have other platforms that are tailored to them, such as Instagram. And TikTok is the wild card, because TikTok, you will find that there's a wide range of ages on TikTok. I've seen people who are in their 70s just killing it on TikTok and just doing so well. So I would say that it's a platform, because it's newer, it hasn't been generalized yet that most people use TikTok for that. Whereas Facebook is definitely like, it's more of an older crowd, whereas Instagram is kind of a younger crowd. However, I don't think that should deter you if that's where your audience hangs out. And it's really knowing, saying, hey, my audience, they like clean feeds. They enjoy stories. They enjoy using stories. Instagram is the place to be. It's the best place for stories. It's the king of stories. So just knowing maybe how your audience likes to take in content is going to be helpful for you to know what platform to be on.
So if you like to put a lot of pictures, it's better to do Instagram.
Yeah.
It's just like pictures. Okay, we have an event. Okay, we get together, and all these photos that you're posting.
Totally.
It's better to do it on Instagram.
So yes, I would say that. Again, if but I mean, Facebook is also photo heavy, as you can see. That's just how the feed is. But Instagram was designed for that.
Yeah, because
it's the platform that created the hype around pictures being the forefront, right? Facebook always had pictures, of course, but it was text heavy, where Instagram is image heavy. You can still have text of course in your post for it, but the first thing I see is is the image. So you'll notice even on Facebook on your if you log into Facebook on your laptop, you'll notice it's always the text at the top and the image below it. Instagram is flipped. It's always the image at the top and then the text because they want you to focus on the image, right? So yes, I personally would say it's great for that if you want to, highlight your images. Absolutely. Instagram is fantastic for that. I also just find it easier to use, to be very honest. Once you get into Instagram, it's a pretty clean interface, and the features that come with it are amazing. To enhance the image that you're putting out there and who sees what. It's really great for that.
Okay. So Angelique, I'm not really sure what you mean by stories on Instagram because it's a picture.
Okay, so do you see at the top of your feed on Instagram little circles?
Well, there's like a plus and a heart and a circle with a zigzag.
Okay, I'm going to show you what it looks like here. Take a look at, this is what my Instagram, can you see? You see those circles at the top?
Oh yeah, those one has my picture in it and then it has some other people's pictures.
That's a story. So if you click on that image of that person at the top,
yeah.
So this is Sophia. I want to see what Sophia's story says. This is Sophia's feed. These are her stories. Right?
Yeah.
So that's a story.
But it's just a picture though.
But right? Right. That's what they are. They're different pictures that they're clips. If you hold it, so see, okay, let's do okay, so this is a video within the story. Well, the great thing about stories is you can share videos, you can share other people's content. So it's not just a picture. You can have different media. See, like this is a video of somebody. You can take a video on the story and make that a story. It's not
how do you do that? How do you do those different things then?
So I'll have to show you that. But that's the beauty of stories. I can create a video. I can do a quick video right now saying, hey guys, teaching a live workshop on social media. I let go of the button. That's my story.
Oh.
That's it. It's 10 seconds. And you can create actually a series of videos. They allow you up to 15 seconds each for the video. And you could do like a little vlog right there. Like I would hold the camera and be like, press the button. Hey, doing a live feature. Here's everybody, like behind the scenes. Here's what I'm doing today. That's your story.
So what's the difference between that and a live and a reel?
So a live is when I'm physically live with you and you can comment at the same time. So just like you're seeing me now, Susie, I could be on a live and I would say, hey guys, I'm going live. Who's out there? Who's watching with me right now? Comment below. Let me know where you're coming from. Let me know what you're up to today. So people can comment at the same time as seeing me live. I can't see them. They can see me, but I can see their comments and say, oh, hey, Susie, I see you're coming from California. That's awesome. So it's interacting with, I can't see you, but I can interact with your comments.
Is that where the heart goes up
exactly.
And the thumbs up
all
goes
thumbs,
up?
all the hearts. Yes, exactly.
Oh.
So let me see if I can find a live right now, but that's a live. And there's no time limit for lives.
Oh.
With stories, it's a quick clip and it disappears after 24 hours.
Oh.
And then a reel is a video of 12 to 15 seconds. And it's specifically, so I'll show you a fun reel when I show you Instagram. So I'll show you that.
Okay.
So, I'm going to try to get through all this other information because I want to make sure you guys get it. So these are just some features to remember about Instagram to capitalize on. This is the way you connect best on Instagram. Hashtags, stories, lives, reels. Reels will grow your audience like nothing else right now on Instagram. And I'm going to show you what a reel is. Different types of account options, which is fantastic. Most platforms don't allow you to choose between personal, business, creator. So that's great for your business, depending on what you do. You get a shop feature. You can literally create your own virtual shop so people can buy from you right on your account. And then insights, which is basically telling you how many people are looking at your posts, where are they coming from, what time of day. These are all great things that Instagram provides you with, so you can maximize when your audience is most active on the platform, what they liked or didn't like about your content. This one had high engagement, this one didn't. So okay, they liked me talking about dogs, but they didn't like me talking about cats. Now I know this is what my audience likes. Insights lets you know more about your audience without you having to directly say, tell me what you like. So that's the beauty of Instagram. Okay, so the next platform is LinkedIn. Just like what Angeline said, it's heavy on business, right? It's known as the network's largest personal network online. So this is a place where professionals go as the largest professional network online. That is what LinkedIn's premise is. It's more business, meaning more facts, not casual conversation. It is definitely more professional in the way you speak as well as what you post. Okay? Great for research. They have tons of stuff back there behind the scenes. Lots of people do newsletters. Great ways to find out more about what's going on in your industry, because people are posting about that stuff specifically there. So if you're like, hey, what's going on in the coaching industry? You can get more specific. What's going on in the coaching for weight loss industry? You can get very specific. People will share surveys, research, which is great for you, because then you can take that information and create content around it for your audience. Great for connecting and finding jobs in particular. Obviously, if people are looking for jobs, it's a great platform for that. Even if you're not looking for jobs, also great to connect with people maybe who are, maybe they're expanding or they're looking for things, certain types of people to work with. This is a great way to build connections and build your network as well. So I do recommend being on LinkedIn. Even if you're not active on it, it's a great place for you to kind of do behind the scenes research to build your business. Like I said, less casual lingo. You're not going to see a lot of, I feel like now they've changed this. Some people are using more acronyms and terms and stuff and emojis, but it's still considered more professional than Facebook. They're starting to push lives on the platform. So they do want people to engage that way. That was their response to lives just like blowing up on Facebook and Instagram. Like, these platforms are capitalizing on people getting the ability to create a live show basically of their own. And LinkedIn wanted to do that for the professional community. So now you'll see that there's a lot of people doing lives on LinkedIn. They got great features to capitalize on as well for yourself. You can create a newsletter using LinkedIn. They have great, if you write articles about certain things to promote yourself, but also help build in the research side for your industry, and you want to become known maybe as somebody who has great research articles, you can publish some articles. Like I said, live videos and posts. Groups are the most underrated thing on LinkedIn, I believe. Groups are not like Facebook groups. They have different features that I think it really takes a different aspect of how you view groups. And because it's on a business platform, the majority of them are okay with you promoting because this is a business platform. I'm going to show you groups and why you should be using them. Recommendations and endorsements are unlike any other platform. Just like some of the features that they have for groups on LinkedIn are unlike Facebook, recommendations and endorsements are what you want on your LinkedIn page, because it's literally people saying, Angeline is a fantastic listener. Angeline is great at what she does. This are people giving you personal testimonials for your business without you having to solicit. You can invite people to give you a recommendation. Maybe you work with somebody in the past, say, hey, would you be able to do a LinkedIn recommendation? This is great. Everybody in the world can see who's recommending you, why they're recommending you, and endorsing you. And endorsement is skills. So 10 people could say, Zara is really great at writing. 10 people are endorsing you for that skill. That means more and more people will look at you and say, hey, maybe I could go to Zara for writing help. So you want to utilize recommendations and endorsements on your LinkedIn profile. You can literally connect with your LinkedIn network that you already have. And literally, I think there's a button that just says like, ask for recommendation. Because you never know who's willing to just write up a little thing and say, hey, it's great for you. It's great for your business. If you have clients, ask them to go on LinkedIn and put up a recommendation or an endorsement for you. It's huge. And 41% of millionaires use LinkedIn. That may not sound like anything, but it goes to show that they've found that LinkedIn obviously it has something special for business. It's not something to sleep on. It's definitely something you want to have in your arsenal platform. And I would say, even if it's just right now, you're not posting, but just to grow your network, just to get to know what's going on in your industry, to have see if you can get into the groups and talk about your business. Like, it's definitely something you want to include. So I'll show you about groups. So this is Twitter. So you can be a part of the Twitterati. That's always fun if you have a certain amount of people following you. But it's actually known as the world's largest microblogging site. Now, a microblog, if you notice with Twitter, you only have a certain amount of characters that you can use to create a tweet. And the reason why it was called tweet was because they were considering it a quick hit of information, similar to when birds chirp or tweet to each other. So that's where that came from. And the idea of it is that it's giving you quick information without all the fluff. That's the idea. Twitter is utilized by news sources in particular as one of the number one ways to get information transferred. There are about 350,000 tweets posted every minute. So a lot of people say, why would I use Twitter? That should, again, go where your audience is. If you have a business where you're a journalist, you probably want to be on Twitter, right? The information comes quick, but it is used as a quick source to get to know what's going on in the world. Highly recommended if you want to track for your business or do research for your business on people in your industry and seeing what's trending, because unlike LinkedIn, it's a day late. Like LinkedIn may get, okay, I'm just going to give this example. The whole Will Smith situation, okay? Say that was a business situation. LinkedIn would probably start picking up on that trend the next day. Twitter would have already had that trend given to you probably within seconds of it happening. So you are up to date, and there would be tons of content around it because Twitter is that quick. So you're only allowed 280 characters for each tweet that you do, and that includes punctuation, including hashtags. So you've got to be very strategic about what you're putting there because there's not a lot of space in order to do that. And that's why the information goes so quick, because it was supposed to be a quick hit of information that circulates really fast. Like I said, great for keeping up to date on things and networking. Quick advertising, if you're doing a live and you're like, hey, I'm doing a live on Instagram in 2 hours, join me. It's a great way to keep your audience up to date without giving all the fluff. And it's just a quick fact. Not a lot of people in the coaching per se industry, I think, use Twitter. I would say it is heavier in certain industries, but again, if that's where your audience is, then that's where you should go. That's how I feel about it. Great features that they have are topics. Like the way that they organize the topics on Twitter is great. Lists, easy for you to find information and keep track of people. I'm also going to show you the popularity of lists on Facebook and how to use it for posting. Posts with video or image are obviously great there too. You can include a link with the 280 characters. I believe it doesn't take away from your 280 characters, so that's always great. And they have something called Twitter Moments, which is basically a collection of Twitter posts that you've done maybe throughout the year or whatever, and you can make a collection similar to how Instagram has highlight features. And I'm going to show you the highlight features, and then you'll understand about Twitter Moments. Photo collages are great there too, and highlights in particular. So that's a great way to use Twitter. Now the last one is TikTok. This is the youngest platform, I guess, the baby of the group, and it is, the way it's growing daily is unprecedented. TikTok's amount of followers, I would say TikTok came out about a year and maybe a year and a half ago, 2 years. So it's a pandemic platform. People were at home, didn't have a lot to do, but they could be on video. And it grew in popularity so quickly that most people who now go to TikTok are finding that their content is becoming viral really fast, without having to do much or have a large audience. So that's why I say it's great to have if you enjoy video, if that's where your audience is, but it's great for any age demographic. And so most businesses are doing quite well on there. So I would say if you're open to it, take a look at TikTok. Best known for quick clip, short form video, entertainment. You could consider it edutainment if you want to make it educational but entertaining at the same time. And it's great for increasing your brand awareness and audience because so many people, like I said, are moving to TikTok to specifically build their brands around video. Video is the number one way to get media out and the number one popular way. Think of YouTube, right? YouTube, billions of people on YouTube. Obviously a very popular platform that made long form video popular, but TikTok is short form video, right? So it's just a different spin on it. Plus TikTok has features that are built in, whereas YouTube, for a lot of them, you're creating the video, taking it somewhere else, editing it, putting in the features yourself, and then doing that. TikTok has it all in the platform for you, so you don't have to go anywhere and create extra work. But again, it's quick clips. They're not long. And yes, it's great for attracting new customers. This platform uses hashtags as well as Twitter and Instagram. And so it's a great place where you can utilize hashtags for your business and the audience that you want to get in front of. They have great features on it, like filters and effects, video and sound features that other platforms do not have. And so it's great. It's a really great way for that. About 52 minutes per day people spend on TikTok alone. That's not including being on Instagram and all the other things. So people are spending a lot of time on TikTok because it's addictive. I don't know if you've ever seen TikTok, but it's addictive. You just go through one and the next, and that's how they get you. Like you think, oh, 15 seconds, that's fine. You spend like an hour on there, you don't even know it. So those are the 5 top platforms right now. Do you guys have any general questions about that before I move on? No? Okay. If
I
you
just
do,
want to let you know, you have, I know the workshop ended at 1, but if
Yep.
some of you want to stay longer, but I just want to make sure that Angelique has enough time to show us all the tool that she wants to show.
awesome. I'm going to
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Just
You
go
do that.
through it.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Okay, so now we're going to specifically dive into the language of social media. What we looked at before was the landscape of the platforms, what those platforms each are known for, how you can kind of utilize those platforms to the best of your ability, and why. Now we're going to look at how social media talks. How do they speak? What are all the things that you're hearing about? LOL, this, and all these different terms and emoji uses. What do these emojis mean? So we're going to talk a little bit about that. So a different language is just a different vision of life. Okay? Social media is just a different way for you to envision how your business can serve other people. In face-to-face, you may talk to people about your business in a different way. Social media allows you to use visuals to really amplify your business's message. So think about it that way. It's just a different way for your business to connect with people and to get that message across. It's not meant to be overwhelming. It's there to support you, really. So the reason why social media language is important is because when you're studying the social media and the interactions that come from it, so they can help you to understand your audience and the best way to join in the conversation. It helps you to read the digital room. Okay, like if you're in a group and somebody's using, you see people using certain emojis, you understand, okay, like maybe you see people always using the fire emoji and you're like, okay, this is a group that's all about the energy. They like to keep it, everybody's pumped up in here. You can see the way people are using certain language that tells you, oh, here's how I can add to the conversation. Here's how I can jump in. Okay, so you get to read the room per se by knowing about the audience and how they're talking on social media, and then of course you get to build a new type of relationship base. It's a type of connection currency. You're growing your authenticity by sharing your energy in a different way. You get to be yourself, but you get to utilize these tools and connect with people who see them the way you see them, who understand them the way you see them as well, and you get to connect and create a different that currency of connection through using this language. Okay, so that's just something to keep in mind about why it's important. So here you'll see that there's different types of tools for social media. We got emojis, we have hashtags, we have abbreviations and text speak, and we also have terms. So I'm gonna quiz you guys on some of this. And Angeline, I know you know some of them, but I've changed them up, so this will be good. So it'll be fun. But really, emojis add just that. They're there to add emotion, right? To what your text is. They make it more lively. Facebook is heavy with emoji use in posts, so you'll see that. Hashtags. Here's the beauty of hashtags that most businesses sleep on, and I really encourage you to get behind hashtags. If you're on Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, those 3 platforms, and TikTok, those 4 platforms utilize hashtags the best. Okay, Facebook don't really need hashtags there. It's not as commonly used or considered to be a part of the platform. But I mean, you can, but it's just, I don't think it's as effective on Facebook. But hashtags, what they do is they allow you to group together information so that it's easier for people to find it. And that helps you to build your business. I'm going to show you hashtags, an example of that on Instagram. But what it allows you to do is say, hey, you can brand the hashtag. So it could be your name, okay? Like Angeline Benjamin, hashtag Angeline Benjamin. You can put that in every hashtag. And when people start noticing, oh, I see this hashtag of Angeline Benjamin, they type it into the search field, hashtag Angeline Benjamin. Every post Angeline has ever created comes up. It's great because it's not just about your audience on your page. It's allowing people who have no idea who you are to get to know you because they're searching for that topic, right? If you are saying dog lover, everybody who's like, oh, I want to see posts for dog lovers, or I want to get to know more about dog lovers, they can type in hashtag dog lover. Your post is going to be a part of that. They would have never known who you were otherwise. But it's allowing them, oh, now I see Angeline Benjamin, I can go to her page. It's a great tool to use to build your business, okay? So these are 4 questions I want you to think about when you're talking about growing on social media and how you're utilizing the language. I will give these questions to you after, so don't worry. But the first is, what do I desire to communicate to my audience? Okay, just posting for the sake of posting isn't going to serve you. Knowing what your audience wants saves you time and really gets them to build the know, like, and trust factor. Every post that you create, whether it's a post, a live, a story, anything, it's all about you building that rapport with your audience. So know in advance what you want to communicate to them. Is it you want to communicate to them that you love serving women who are building businesses? Or is it that you love dogs? Like, what is it that you want them to know about you most? Okay, and that's through your personal content. That's through your business content. But if you're just scattered and saying, I'm just posting for the sake of posting, it's not building the right audience because people aren't clear on what your message is, right? So just know that and how you want to communicate your vision. Number 2 is, what are all the ways available to me to do so? How, like, all the ways that you can communicate your vision. What ways do I love best? And where's my audience, right? Like, I love video, so how can I use video on LinkedIn. My people are on LinkedIn. I like to go live. That means I can do more lives on LinkedIn, or I can create videos and upload them to LinkedIn. So just know the ways that you work best and start there. And if you're not comfortable with the others, you can work up to those. But the point is, do what makes you feel comfortable and confident most on social media, because that's going to come across in the energy. If you're really scared and you're going live and you hate doing lives and you're just not ready for it, at some point you will have to jump. But to start out, start with what you love to do. If you just like to write posts and you like to type, type. Okay? If you like, just start there, because that's going to help build the confidence as you start growing your audience. And then you'll say, okay, I'll do a live today. Like, you'll feel more confident to do those other things that you weren't keen on in the beginning. And like I said, most of the things are available on every platform. So whatever platform you're on, there is a way for you to do what you love best. Okay. Number 3, what's my fear? Question? Did I hear something? No? Okay. What's my fear or frustration around the use of social media? Sorry. And how can I shift that? Sorry, you can't see it at the bottom. But how can I shift that? So like, if you have a fear or specific issue with social media, recognize it if it's actually true. Like most times we make up stories about things like, oh, like I can't go live because, I don't look good on camera. Okay. Is that really true, or is that a fear, right? You need to attack those, because if you're building a business, you're going to have to get over those frustrations that you have. The reality is, most of the, like I said, every platform works. So recognize if you're making an excuse or if it's real. Okay. And if it's real, then you get to say, okay, how can I work around that? What can I do, rather than focusing on what you can't, or you feel like I'm just not good at. Let's focus on what we can do first, and then you can build into the confidence to do more. And last is, where can I seek help? There's so much help around and so much available. So you just got to decide for yourself, like, where can I find that? Whether that's going on YouTube, talking to an expert, getting personal coaching, whatever you need to build your audience on social media best, then you can do that. There's lots of free resources in order to do that. So here are just a few people that you can watch depending on the platform you're on. All these people have YouTube content that is absolutely fantastic. So depending on whatever platform you're on, these people are like, this is what I do on YouTube. I will teach you the ways of Instagram or TikTok or LinkedIn, or even if you're blogging, like SEO content and research. If you're like, I really want to get to know my audience, but I don't know what topics they like or how to start. Maybe you're like, I don't have an audience at all. So where can I start learning about things that I can talk to them about? Those 4 places that at the bottom there that says research are fantastic sites to help you start getting ideas of content you can create. So a lot of times people are stumped and they're like, I don't know what to put out there for content. Always think about, what can I do that's personal, and think about those 3 categories, like, travel, dogs, exercise, whatever that is for you, and you can create content around that naturally. But for your business, maybe you want to learn more about your industry, or you just want to learn about topics around that. Answer the Public is so great. You literally type in a topic and it will come up. You know what? I'll show you. So it'll just be easier. But Feedly is great. It connects you to other websites automatically, so you don't have to try to find all these sites on your own. It'll connect you to topics that pop up in all these other sites. So you'll say, oh, I'm looking for exercise or dance, Samba dance exercises. Type that in. Every story that's current that has talking about Samba dance exercises from all these websites across the entire internet is going to be curated for you right here. So you're not having to try to find them. They find it for you. BuzzSumo is great to find research points on specific topics. It'll give you a lot of curated information on the research behind, or like numbers and stats in general behind something. And Google Trends, absolutely fantastic. If you literally type in googletrends.com, it'll come up. and you can type in a specific topic and it'll show you if it's trending, and it'll show you points on when it was popular. So maybe back in July, I don't know, some big event happened, and Kim Kardashian, I don't know, whatever. And it was just like that, at that point, it was super popular there. You can then see if it's trending on average when it's trending, why it's trending. That's really great insight for you and your business to say, okay, I see that my audience likes to know about dogs. So let me type in dogs and see when it was trending and why. Maybe it was like National Dog Day. So you knew that that's why it was peaking. That helps you to create content around those trends. If you know coming up in February or in July, sorry, I don't know why I said February, but July, something like National Dog Day is coming up, it'll show you it peaks at this time. So now you know, okay, I can create a topic for that day, right? It's really great to utilize. You can also type in national days if you just want to know about all these national days that you can talk about in your content. So there's great ways to do it. Okay, now we're going to dive in together. So I'm going to, let me just escape. Okay, so first I'm going to show you, let's just go to Answer the Public. Oh, there we go. So Answer the Public is a search tool, and you can use it for free, up to, I think, 3 searches. So otherwise you got to pay, but it's pretty good. 3 searches is pretty good. So you can literally see, okay, let's just do what it says here. So the example is chocolate. And you just say, so this is a topic, chocolate. And if you want to compare data, you don't need to pay for that. Scroll down, and it gives you all these questions you can talk about with your audience. Chocolate popcorn, some of them don't make sense. Will chocolate kill a dog? You know, that's a common question people have when they have dogs. So they give you all of these things that you can create into content. If you talk, like, so maybe I'm a chocolatier, and I have a business around chocolate. I want to give more content to my people, my audience, on chocolate. So I could talk about the topic, will chocolate kill a dog? I can talk about that. Will chocolate make me fat? I can talk about all these things that pertain, like they give you all of this for free. So when you're like, I don't know what to make, I don't know what content to make, you literally type in a topic and they give you all of these things you can use. Some of them, like I said, don't make sense, but where chocolate comes from, great, that's one that you could use, right? Then you could even go down all these prepositions, chocolate to dogs, chocolate to melt. So these are just things that you can think about. Oh, okay, like how long does chocolate take to melt? I could talk about that. Chocolate to cream ratio for ganache. So you could do a video showing them, hey, here's the chocolate to cream ratio you need in order to make a good ganache, right? All of these things just on the word chocolate. And then they compare. You can do comparisons. Chocolate versus crisps. Chocolate versus cooking chocolate. Like all of this for free. So, and other things you can talk about, you could do recipes. Here's some ideas for recipes you could do with chocolate on your content. So I highly recommend using Answer the Public because it's just a wealth of information for you to use when you say, I don't know what to create, I don't know what to talk about. Here's a bunch of stuff for you for free. Okay, so let's go to Facebook. And this is my Facebook feed. So we're going to take a look at security and your settings. So when you're on your home page, these things at the top here are stories. So if you see these like rectangular box right here, it says I can create a story. And if I was to click this, there's only really 2 options. Create a photo story or create a text story. Now if I create a text story, I'm literally just typing. Oh, let me see if it works. And I don't know if it'll work because I'm sharing the screen, so that could be that. But you would literally just start typing and, oh, sorry, here. Okay, hi there. Great. So it'll start typing and you can, type like, hey, I have promo going on or something like that. But again, that's just text. It's not as engaging if you had a video or if you had a photo, right? So it doesn't allow you to utilize that. Again, then you can include a photo You can include it. Then they also have the option where you can include a photo, and you can also include text and other things. But I find that stories are best done on the app. So that's what I find. If you have an app for Facebook or Instagram, they're the best places to do it because they give you the most tools when you use the app. Most times they're trying to move you away from using desktop. Every platform has an app as well. So just keep that in mind, that they're probably going to try to get you to do it on the app because they want more engagement through the app. So
Where's the app?
You have to download the Facebook app from your Play Store. So if you have an iPhone, you would go to the Apple Store, type in Facebook, and from there you can click the button and download the app to your phone. If you have a Samsung or an Android, you go to the Google Store.
So it's not part of what you see on your phone.
It's not. Some phones do come with it, but majority of them don't. You have to add it. Same with Instagram. You have to add TikTok.
LinkedIn. Okay.
You have to download them. So that's just like where your stories live up here. And so here's an example. Okay, so like let's do this. Okay, so Lisa's working out. If you notice this bar at the top that's moving, that's showing you how long it's taking for the story to be seen. Once this is up, it moves to the next story that she has. So she has 3, right? So you can see here, now this is her next story. And then this is her last story, which is actually another video. So that's how stories work, right? See, Ruchi, she's posting about cauliflower rice, and then her son reading. So she's doing personal. She's a fitness instructor, so she's doing personal as well as business. Her posting about her working out or making cauliflower rice is a part of her business. She's showing you that she's in the work. She is a fitness coach. This is what she does. But again, she's making it fun. She's showing testimonials. Here's her clients' results. So this is how you can use stories in so many different ways, right? And her going to the grocery store, right? So these are just different ways to use stories. It's just literally pictures or video of your day, your business, whatever that may be. And you'll notice that Facebook's feed, just this whole entire page, has a lot on it. Instagram's not like that. It's like super clean. Here you see on the side, you have the creator, you have all these markings on the side. Then you have the feed in the middle. And then on the other side, you have like your pages, there's a lot happening on this. It's very cluttered in comparison to the way other platforms look. And I think that goes towards their very casual nature. It's like, you can even tell by the layout. It's not as crisp, or like LinkedIn is you can tell by the font, the way it's designed, it looks more professional. Whereas Facebook looks more fun and there's a lot of color, there's a lot of those things. So it just goes to show you the way different platforms also use color, text, font to show you what kind of a platform it is. So here, if you go to this little button at the corner of the top right corner, you can see here, you click the arrow, it takes you to settings and privacy. Help and support is a great place to go. If you click on it, you can go to the help center. You can learn about reporting. Here, we'll click on it and see if it takes us right there. So there we go. So you can see there's options here about managing your account. You can change your names on Facebook, passwords, all those things. A great option too is you can, if you have an account and they allow you two-way authentication, meaning you type in a password and then they probably send you a code as well before you can log in, use it. It helps you to guard against hackers. First of all, the more security measures you have, the better for you. And most platforms now allow you to have two-way authentication. So you can find that in your settings as well. But I highly recommend utilizing two-way authentication and changing your passwords regularly. Yes, it's kind of a hassle, but the reality is the stronger your password by using different capitals, not capitals, numbers, symbols, the better it is for you with having hackers. It minimizes them being able to access your account. Also, another important thing I think is notifications. This is just going to tell you what you can choose. So this is the help center. So it's just information on that. But I'm going to show you in your notifications that you can ask Facebook to notify you if somebody tries to access your account that they don't recognize. So I had somebody try to access my account from Jakarta, Indonesia, and I knew I wasn't on a trip, unfortunately. So I knew that somebody was trying to access my account. And that is a great indication for you to then say, maybe I should change my password. That's a great time to probably change your password if you see that you're constantly getting these notifications about people trying to access your account. That's why having a two-way notification is better, because you'll get a text to your phone with the numbers to enter, right? If it was just a password and that person in Jakarta knew or discovered my password, they would be instantly into my account. Whereas when you have a two-way authentication, they'll send you to your email or to your phone another measure. So just something to keep in mind. This is a great place, again, like I said, you can download your information on Facebook. A lot of people actually use this for their friends list, meaning they can download their friends list, and it's a great way for them to connect with people outside of Facebook as well, and to see if those people are on other platforms as well. Rather than having to constantly switch back, people will just download and it gives you all the information, so you can do that. You can also deactivate, which means you're basically letting your account sleep. You're not utilizing, so it's not visible to the public, but you can reactivate it, or you can delete it and all of your information is wiped out. You have privacy settings, keeping your account safe and secure. This is really great information in order to talk about inappropriate things that you're seeing on the platform, and it also gives you the opportunity to report or block people as well. So the help center is just a really good place to kind of get more information if you're like, I don't really know about that topic. Then you'll see here, if I go back to settings, settings and privacy, you can go straight to settings. And this is where you'll see your general information, your security and login is where you want to go. And this is where you can see the types of places that you generally log in from. So my phone and my laptop, and you can add ones to it so that Facebook knows it's you and won't send notifications saying somebody's trying to log in. But if you logged in, say, a city away, they would notify you because they'd be like, it's not your usual place. So yes, Facebook tracks you. Most sites do. But sometimes it's handy if you're worried about people trying to take over your account. You can change your password here. This is where you would turn on the two-way authentication. And this is where you can get alerts about unrecognized logins. So that's when they would tell you, hey, we saw this unusual activity. Is this really you? And it's good to know, right? And if you get locked out, you can choose specific friends for them to contact so you can get back in. So that's also a great defense mechanism against hackers as well, because they may lock the account, but the only way to then access the account is for those friends to be contacted and to let you know. So that's definitely the security feature you want to go to. Then you'll want to take a look here in particular at your profile and tagging. This is where you're going to decide who can see what you're doing, who can post on your platform and not. I don't allow people to post on my platform because that allows me to keep control of what's being put on my feed. You can control this as well, and I think it's very important for your business, because if that's what, if anybody can just post on your feed, they, you may not see it until a lot later, and that's not a part of your brand or your message, right? So I can post. So I said I am the only person who can post on my profile. But if somebody tags me, anybody can tag me, and then I will get a notification letting me know if I want to add it to my feed or not myself. So you can still allow people to do that on your feed. That they can tag you, and then you can decide if you want to put it on your feed or not. I also suggest allowing yourself to review these posts and tags. I think that's important because then you can see obviously what the content is and who's tagging you. I had to stop this because people were sending spam messages and posting me and 99 other people in a message, and they've never spoken to me, and it was just, on my feed. So I took it off and said only I can post on there, but I can decide if somebody else tags me that, I'll allow it or not. Public posts, this is where you want to decide who can see your content. So yes, I can post on my page, but who can see it? For me, I put public because I use it as a business brand. So unfortunately, you can't narrow it down further than that. And so yes, you'll get people who are not your ideal people. Probably, they might make a comment or try to friend you. You don't have to accept. You can also delete comments. If you find people post on your page and it's inappropriate, you can delete the comment. So just keep that in mind. Then my posts are public, but my public profile info only, I can like or comment on other public profiles. I just want it to be a friends of friends. I don't really care to know all the people in the world, so that's okay. But yeah, so this is where you would decide who can follow you, who's seeing your images. Now, if you wanted to decide if you said there's a lot of weird people who are following me, unfortunately, you can't individually remove them like you can on Instagram. Here, you would have to change this to friends. So there's pros and cons of being public for business, obviously, but I find that the pros outweigh the cons. And again, you can block people though. So I block people because you get, inappropriate people. So I just block them. So those are some settings in your Facebook I recommend going through. I'm going to show you an example of, okay, Callie. So I can, okay, fine. Marcy. So I can do, if you're saying, hey, I'm trying to curate my feed. I don't really Marcy isn't my ideal client. So I don't necessarily need to see her content all the time, because really you want your feed to be of ideal clients. Because if it's just friends and family all the time, then that means you're not getting the opportunity to expand your business, right? You want people who you could engage with that are potentials for your business. So I can click on the three dots, and I don't have to unfollow her or unfriend her. I can say snooze, right? So if I press snooze, I won't see her post in my feed for 30 days. She doesn't get notified, so nobody knows that you snooze them. And it allows space for people who you do want to start seeing and engaging in their content as potential clients. You're allowing that space. So you can do that instead of directly unfriending. So say I never spoke to Elena, I could go on her profile and literally click here where it says friends. Say I'm like, well, we don't really talk. She's not my ideal client. Two things you can do. Unfollow. So you're still friends, but you're not following her content. So less and less of it will show up in your feed. Or I can unfollow and unfriend her. So we're not friends and I don't see her content ever. Okay. If you unfriend, you can also just unfriend, but you'd still be following. So if you say,
trimming a little bit.
You say like you want to, so if you want to say you have a person that, again, you're not friends and you don't want to see their content, then you can unfollow and unfriend. Okay. Or you could do either or. You can just unfollow or you can just unfriend. So this is a great way to curate your feed, right? And to also make sure you're using your friend count wisely. Last thing I'm going to show you on here is your friends and the power of Facebook lists. So a lot of people don't know about Facebook lists, but I think it's super great. These are all the people who have requested, friends. But again, If they're not my ideal client, then I'm not going to say yes. But just say I was like, okay, let me look at Jessica. She could be an ideal client. She's in my age range, so she could be an ideal client. I would go to her page, click on her name, because she requested to be friends. So let me go see what she has. I click on her page, and here I see she has random content. She's not really active on here because I can see she just has, okay, this is a image, this is a video she shared. She mainly has content, it seems like, about missing people or she's obviously a mom, so that's something, kids going missing is important to her. She has text, she has like random, like quotes, but this does not show me that she's super active. So this is November 2021. Okay, so the last time she posted was in 2021, meaning she's not active on the platform. So why would I consider her a friend? Because she's not going to be on the platform anyway, right? And her content does not show that she's a business owner or she has anything that would make me feel like she would be an ideal client for me. So this is a great way to quickly look at the content of somebody's stuff and to say, would they be a great fit to be a friend? Would we be able to work together in, like, either I'm a client of theirs or they're a client of mine, or could we collaborate? For her, it would probably be no, right? So I, for personally, would delete the request. She's not going to get the notification, right? Nor did I get a message from her, because somebody who friends request, you can still send you a message and say, hey, wanted to be your friend, but I didn't get that message, right? So she's found me randomly because my profile is public. So just keep that in mind. Like, be mindful of your friend. You get 5,000 friends, but you want to curate them. Like I said, I know people with 1,000 friends, and people say that's very low, but they have a 6-figure business. So just be mindful. So the last thing I'm going to show you here is lists. It showed up on here because I already did it, but originally what you would do is you would go to your home page, click on friends, and at the bottom here you would see see more, like a wording at the bottom here. It says see more. You click on that, and then custom lists will pop up. Okay, so for the first time you do it, you'll look down and see the word see more down here to show you more friends, and then you can scroll back up, and then this will be added to the section. Custom list is fantastic because you can create specific lists of people who you want to share specific content with. So if you say, I have friends and family and I have a business, but I don't want them to see all my posts because some are, I still have personal content that my friends and family can see, but they're not my ideal clients. So I'd rather my business people would see the business stuff. That's how you can have a personal account and still keep it business and family. You can create lists. So here, I just created this random list, business influencers, okay? So these are people that I could say, I want them to see all my business content. So this could be called ideal client list. And great, everybody that's your friend that you think would be an ideal client, you can put in this list. Now, you can obviously see restricted, different things. You can create a list and rename lists and create whatever you want. Then how that works is you go here, you're putting up a post, and I now at this top can click who I want to see this particular post. And I can choose my list. So if it's about business, I can say I want my business influencers to see this post. So this helps the algorithm say, okay, I'm only going to put it in their feed, right? So now you can now tailor your posting and help the algorithm to narrow down where you want it to go. Does that mean every single person on this list is going to see it? No. But the point is that you're tailoring it so more of those people that would be ideal for that post will see it, right? If I put public, again, that's anybody, but now I'm curating it. I know only these people, and I want them to see it. It's for them. So again, you could do the family and friends too, and I think that's a really cool feature that most people don't think of for business.
So if we, for example, because you mentioned that we have to be engaging in the Facebook, so does it affect our level of engagement if we pick a specific list all the time?
As far as I know, no. I feel like that's kind of why they created it, because this is also a way to stop people from creating multiple accounts. Because if you were saying, I'm only creating an account for business and then I want one for personal, but they don't want you having multiple accounts, now you have lists. Not everybody has to see this post, because you can say friends and family only see this post. And then for this post, you can say business, only people for my business can see this post. So from what I know, and I don't know that fully, but I don't believe that's the case. Yeah. Okay, so I know we're over time. I just want to show you one more thing. Okay, I'm going to show you really quickly.
Are you going to show the Instagram or you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yes.
So let's go to Instagram. So here's Instagram. You can see the feed is completely different, right? It's just, you don't see all these things at the side. You don't see, it's less distracting than Facebook, right? Here, again, first thing you see is the video or the picture. At the bottom is the wording, right? So with Facebook, it's flipped, because Facebook is more content heavy with like posts and the writing, whereas Instagram is like, I want to feature the image or the video first. So you can see here, she's doing her thing about showing you how to take cool pictures and all that, and how it looks, and that's cool. So this is how it works. So I'm going to show you another key thing with what I mean by spam accounts. Okay, my friend Terry has a business, and here I'm going to start typing her full name. Okay, so here's Terry's real account at the top. These are all pictures of Terry. They're all fake accounts. This is what I mean by people taking your identity and create, look how many accounts. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 alone right here, all with her picture. So people could say, oh, that's Terry. But no, it's only the one at the top that is her. So it's important, look how many there are. These are all people pretending to be her. And because she's growing her business and her business has grown so much, more and more people are doing that. Like this person, it's not even her picture, but they're using her name, right? This is the problem. So Terry has all of these people pretending to be Terry. That's a problem for your business. This is why it's important to report this, right? So I would go here, click on this person who's pretending to be Terry, and I would click the 3 dots and I would say block. Okay, now you can see it says report or block. The best bet is actually to go to report, and then it says, why are you reporting it? I would say, I'm reporting the account, not the post or the comment itself. Why? It's pretending to be somebody else. And then I would say, somebody I know. And really, she's a business or whatever, but she's somebody I know. And then it allows you to block that person. So you report it first, and then you block that person. Okay? This is helpful for Terry, because if Terry doesn't know that all these people are doing that, pretending to be her, that's a problem for her business, because people could be talking to this person thinking it's her, and it's a misrepresentation. So this is what I mean by, if you get, somebody pretending to be you or anybody, you should report it. And I tell, Terry knows all about this already. She's had to go on Instagram and do a whole thing and tell people, please help me with all of this, because this is not me. So I won't have to tell her, but I would go and tell, if this happened to Susie, I would go to Susie and say, here's the name of the account. You go block them and report them, and ask your audience to do the same. It's important to tell your audience other people are impersonating you, so they know not to go there too. And people will do it for you. You could put it in your stories, the name, and say, please block and report, and people will do that for you. So, if you go to Terry's actual account, you'll see she has 154,000 followers. This is how many people she's following. These are how many posts she's made. But she's literally had to go on and say, this is not me. Please report this person. So it's really important for people to do that. Okay. So that's just about that side of things. So now if I go to, this is the feed of Instagram. And then if I go to my profile, I'm going to show you. So I have 174 followers on here, And I can do specifically, if I click on followers, I can specifically remove people. Whereas if you notice on Facebook, you can't. So I'll just show you really quickly. On my Facebook page, I can show you where my followers are. Like you'll see here on your personal page, you'll see here, followed by 1,300 people. If I click on that to see who's following me, I can't individually say, I don't want Dominique to follow me because, like, or this guy, like, I don't know, it's random, but so you can't change that unless you change your setting from public to friends only, which is a problem for your business. But on Instagram, you can specifically remove people from following you if they're not your ideal person, which does help you with your feed again. You can edit your profile here, and this is the settings, and this is where you would go to privacy and security as well. And this is where you can allow certain things. So you can make your account private, meaning you specifically have to allow that person to see it rather than it being open. So this is why if you have a personal account on Instagram, you can make that a private account. So only your friends and family can see that content. And then you can have a business page. So then you don't have to worry about your personal life and your private, and that's the great thing about Instagram. And then of course you have different ways, 2-factor authentication, adding that so you can, for that measure, who can mention you, types of posts. You can hide likes and views if you don't want people to see how many people are liking or viewing your content. So there's all of these things in your privacy setting. So you can go to your Instagram page and find it there. And it's really important to do to curate your feed, because this is where you're going to find all the ways to make your profile the best it can be. LinkedIn is the exact same. You can go to LinkedIn, find in the settings, and they'll have all the things you can use to fine tune your personal account to make it how you want it to be, and to feel more confident in the security measures. Because a lot of people don't know about the security measures that are available, and that could be a problem. So on Instagram here, the last thing I'll say is just the stories, right? So I just want to show you stories. Let me go back to home. So here is stories at the top. So you'll see here, Nims Dai, I follow him online, and you can see these are his stories. So this is a caption. You see this little bar at the top that's moving? That's how long it'll take, right? So that's how many seconds that you'll see this, and then it'll go to the next one. So he has several stories you can see, and then it'll move to the next one. So this is just a picture. But again, you can include wording. You can tag people so they can see it specifically. Great for collaborations, different things like that. So that's the beauty of stories. And then you can add a poll. So it'd be down here like, do you like mountain climbing? Yes, no. Great way to engage people and know what your audience likes. But there's really great features behind making stories as well. So actually, I'm just going to show you Brooks. She usually has polls. So that's her son. She did a Tiffany & Co. campaign. And you can click through them. You don't have to wait for it to change. So there's a lot of her. She's a fashion stylist. So anyway, so this is just like a day in her life. But people like that. Even though it may seem trivial to you, your audience may want to see that. So this is a great way to know what to include in for your audience. She's obviously into makeup and fashion, so this makes sense for her business, right? And it's still personal, but it's also business, because this is what she does for a living. So that's how you can combine things, right? So that's the kind of the differences between Facebook and Instagram. And there's obviously more that can be said, but we ran out of time, sorry. So if you do have questions, though, feel free to reach out and just let me know. Zara?
Okay.
Yeah, I guess you wanted to tell us how to switch from business, but I can ask you later. If you're out of time, that's fine.
What I'll also do is I'll include that in the handout that I'm creating. I'll include that information. So just let me write that down.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Okay, no problem. Okay.
Well, thank you so much, Angelique. And I know we ran out a few minutes, but I found this very valuable. Don't you guys think? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it was
Thank you
great.
so much, Angelique. It was
Oh,
awesome.
Yeah, it is
Awesome.
awesome. All the sample you show, because then when we play this again, the video,
Yeah.
you
Can
can
learn more.
practice how to do that, especially the setting and all these things, the
Yes.
photo. So we can
Absolutely.
do that. And then if you also in the handout, if Angelique will provide the contact information, how to connect with her, and stuff like that. You know, I know her. She's very, very accommodating.
Yeah, I would
So,
love to
so
have
that's
that.
that's why I invited her to do this workshop, because she's a very, very accommodating person, and I really, really respect her. So
Angelina,
thank you,
respect
and I
you.
will stop this recording now.